Hello friends and welcome to my channel. My name is Shaz, short for Shahrazad, and in this channel where we talk about all kinds of colorful makeup. I'm going to do something a little bit different today. One thing that I've realized that kind of bothers me about the whole makeup scene online is that it's promoting a lot of purchasing and consumerism, and there's not a lot of emphasis on saving money, investing money, using your old products, using the palettes you have, project pans and things like that. I've decided to start a series on this channel, and this is going to be the first episode of those series where I'm going to be talking about a financial topic that might be of interest as I'm doing my eye look. For some of you who don't know me, I work in financial technology, and I work for a company that makes financial products. So the financial topic of this video is going to be 401k plans, how to open a 401k plan, where you can open a 401k plan, 3 advantages and 3 disadvantages associated with a 401k plan. Those are the things we're going to be discussing as I make my eye look today with the Follow Your Dreams palette from Saint Angels and Sinners. This is the inside of the palette. It's super pretty. However, I don't think it's available anymore. If I find a link to it and if it's available, I'll put the link in the description box below. This is going to be the eye look we're going to create in this video. If all of that sounds good to you, let's jump into the video. Before I get started with the eye look, I wanted to call myself out on having lost a nail. So please apologize. I've lost a nail. I don't know what happened to it. We're kind of gonna have to do without that nail. I figured I should call myself out before anybody else does. Okay, now let's get started on the video. This is going to just be the very basics of 401k. I'm going to talk about 3 positive points and 3 negative points of 401k, and I'm going to make another follow-up video to this talking about some of the questions, sort of FAQs of 401k. And I will tag that if that video is available somewhere here. But let's get started. As I mentioned in the intro, I'm going to be using this palette. I am using Lancome's base for my eyes. I'm not going to explain too much about the makeup, but I'm going to put the colors that I've used under the video, and you can just sort of use, you're going to be able to see what I'm doing, right? So you can just use that as a guideline if you want to recreate this look. The other thing I was going to say is I apologize if there's some noise in the background. It's actually raining. It's monsoon season in Austin. So it's raining like crazy, and there's not a whole lot I can do about that. Okay, let's start with the very basics of 401k. Why is it called a 401k? The name 401k refers to the section inside the IRS or Internal Revenue Services tax code. Section 401 subsection K of the IRS tax code talks about the fact that the government allows companies to open retirement savings accounts for their employees. And there are some certain benefits that are associated with these retirement savings account that I will talk about in a minute. So that's where the name comes from. I'm going to go into this orange color with a fluffy brush. So usually when you start working for the company, they tell you what your benefits are. Frankly, a lot of times, even during the salary negotiation and so on, they provide all the items that all the benefits that they provide. Retirement savings and retirement accounts is one of those benefits, but obviously you can't open an account until after you become an employee at the company. So there's usually some sort of an orientation where they will discuss with you, or they might just literally hand you a document that explains these things. And the purpose of this video is so that you're aware that these things exist, because I understand a lot of times people are handed the document, but it just ends up in a shelf at their house. They never even look at it. They never end up saving in it. And as a result, they lose on a lot of potential future monetary and asset growth. So how you would open a 401k account is that the employer usually has contracts with certain brokerage companies like Charles Schwab, Fidelity, Vanguard, T. Rowe Price, and so on. And through these brokerage companies, they offer 401k packages. And we'll talk about these packages possibly in a different video, because there's a lot of differences and nuances to these packages. And what you can do once you become an employee at that company, you usually can let the company know, the HR department usually, that you are interested in opening a 401k account. They can assist you where you go online and you can set up the percentage contribution. So you just set it on there that out of every paycheck you want to contribute, for example, 5% of your salary. And on there, on the internet, you can also set which package you want to pick for your investments. And what's going to happen from there is very easy. You don't have to do anything. The percentage that you have determined is going to get deducted every paycheck from your earnings, and is going to be automatically put into the package, the 401k package that you picked. Let's talk about 3 advantages of having a 401k account. So 401k is not the only way you can invest for retirement. Frankly, you can invest by yourself. You don't even need to go look at these traditional retirement accounts. You can just figure out where you want to invest your money and decide. I created, for example, these investment packages for my own retirement, where I put money in different types of assets, and this is for my retirement. You don't need to open a 401k account or any other kind of traditionally known retirement accounts. But 401k offers some benefits. Top 3 benefits that 401k offers. Number 1 is that it reduces your taxable income. What that means is that, I'm going to use round numbers when I'm giving these examples to make it easy to follow. But let's say you made $100,000 this year and you contributed $20,000 to your 401k account. What that $20,000 contribution does is that it's going to reduce your taxable income. So you no longer have to pay taxes on that $20,000. And when you're paying your taxes at the end of the year, all you're paying taxes on is the $80,000 that you did not contribute to your 401k account. This can be very beneficial because it reduces your tax. You don't need to pay taxes on it. So what I need to note here also is that it's not that you never pay taxes on it. You don't pay taxes on that amount in the year you're putting that money in a 401k. But you would have to pay taxes on that money and its growth when you withdraw it at retirement. So, let's say 30 years later or so on, when you retire and you're withdrawing that money, you pay taxes that year based on your earnings in that year. The assumption generally is that at retirement, you're going to have a lower earning because you're retired and you're just going to have less tax obligation. But this might not necessarily be the case for you. So you need to make the decision that's correct for you. The other benefit of a 401k, which frankly I think is the most important benefit of a 401k, is that usually employers have a matching for the 401ks. What that means is that, going back to my earlier example, if you made $100,000 this year and you decided to put $8,000 of it in a 401k plan that has a 50 cents to a dollar matching, your employer is going to, on your behalf, put $4,000 in your 401k plan. And this is in addition to your salary. This is money that completely belongs to your employer. And this is essentially an immediate 50% increase on the money that's in your 401k plan, which is fantastic. This is free money, and this is the one reason I would recommend for people to invest in a 401k plan, for particularly people who might not be very familiar with different assets to purchase in order to increase their net worth. If there is one main reason to invest in a 401k plan, it's to get the employer matching, which essentially means if your employer is not having a matching, be a little bit more diligent about whether you really want to put your money in a 401k plan. But we'll get to all of that in our video about FAQs about 401k. Let's go to the third benefit of 401k plan. The third benefit of a 401k plan is that it does not have any income limit. There are some other retirement accounts that have income limits, meaning that if you make more than a certain amount of income, you can't put your money in those kinds of accounts. We will talk more about those kinds of accounts in other videos. Let's now talk about 3 disadvantages of having a 401k account. One of the main disadvantages of having a 401k account is that you don't have a lot of control of where your money is going to be invested. As I said, companies usually partner with certain brokerage firms that offer packages to you, and those packages can have very high fees. So you might end up having to pay very high fees, and you're not going to have a lot of control over what options are in those packages. So what usually happens is that the company might, if you're lucky, provide options for you. They might give you like 5 options and say, these are the 5 options for packages you can invest in. Which one do you want? Based on your age and your life situations, your earnings, and a lot of other things, you might want to take a very aggressive route or a very conservative route in how you want to invest your money. And based on that, you can pick which package to pick. But you usually don't have too much say in exactly the different types of assets that are in these packages, and then as I said, these packages come with fees. Sometimes these fees can be very high. I'm going to make another video and talk about these fees because it's important for us to be able to understand when we make a selection of a 401k and how to understand the fees, as well as the fees in other types of funds. But just know for now that sometimes these fees are very high and it might not really make sense for you to put the money in those kinds of accounts when you have other options with significantly lower fees. Because what that fee is going to do, it's going to eat up your money. It's going to eat up from the compound interest that could have grown on the money that you're putting away in your 401k account. The second negative point is that there is a cap on how much you can invest in your 401k plan. The cap is different whether you are closer to retirement. As of the year I'm filming this, which is 2022, the limit for people who are over 50 years of age is $27,000 in the year, and the limit for people who are under 50 years of age is $20,000, which essentially means that you can invest up to $20,000 of your salary that year in a 401k account. Remember, you cannot put money that you have not earned in a 401k account. Meaning, if you work for, say, a company and you earn $10,000, you cannot contribute $20,000 in a 401k account. You can only contribute the amount you have earned in a year in a 401k account. Finally, the last disadvantage of putting money in a 401k plan is that you're not going to have access to it until you turn 59 and a half years of age, meaning 59 years and 6 months. What that means is that if you put money in a 401k plan, it's going to be in an account that belongs to you and is under your name. You own it, but you cannot touch it until you turn 59 and a half. You can't withdraw money from it until you turn 59 and a half. Let me actually correct myself there. It's not that you can't at all withdraw money. You can withdraw money from your 401k plan, but you have to pay a 10% penalty fee on top of the tax that you have to pay on the amount you're withdrawing. If you talk to different tax professional, everybody will tell you if you have an alternative, do not withdraw money from your 401k plan. It's not going to be to your advantage. So the fact that you're essentially not going to have access to that money is a disadvantage, right? You might have certain life situations where you need the money and you're unable to access it. So those are 3 advantages and 3 disadvantages I wanted to get to about a 401k plan. Remember that a lot of smaller companies might not offer 401k plans or might not offer 401k matching to their plans and or might have higher fees. What happens is that a lot of these fees depend on the number of people that work at that company. So smaller companies generally can be at a disadvantage. If you work at any type of company, you should do this, but definitely if you work at a smaller company, look at all your 401k related documents. Look at the particular packages you have put your 401k money into to make sure you're not paying a lot of fees, to make sure they are providing matching, and to make sure you're parking your money somewhere that is actually giving you the growth that you want. Okay, friends, my eye look is complete. Here's a quick close-up of the eye look. To complete the look, I also used an old lip gloss from ColourPop. For my lip products, I use older products. I'm trying to purchase less and less lip products until I use all the stuff I've already accumulated, because lip products particularly have a lower shelf life and I want to make sure they don't expire on me, right? This is money that I could be putting in that 401k plan, right? Okay, everybody, I hope you learned something from this video. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Also consider subscribing to my channel. I'm gonna have a lot more videos like this where I'm gonna be talking about finance as I'm doing my eye look. So if you wanna see more of that, definitely subscribe. Okay, everybody, have a fantastic day. I love you all, and until next time, bye.